When was it too late to jump ship on a date? I matched with Bridget on a dating app and we hit it off immediately, but if I had known her secret, I never would have swiped right on that hoe. She was funny and smart and actually responded with full sentences instead of one-word answers. After a week of texting, we decided to meet at this upscale steakhouse downtown for dinner. The date was going perfectly. She looked even better than her photos, and the conversation flowed naturally. We laughed about bad first date stories and bonded over both growing up with strict parents. She ordered the lobster tail and I got the ribeye. Everything felt right until the check came. Bridget pulled out a black credit card and handed it to the waiter before I could even reach for my wallet. I thanked her for treating, but she waved me off saying she wanted to spoil me. The waiter brought back the receipt, and that's when she leaned in close with this weird smile on her face. I need to tell you something before this goes any further. I'm married, but it's basically over. We sleep in separate rooms and everything. This is actually his credit card I'm using tonight. My fork stopped halfway to my mouth. She kept talking like she hadn't just dropped a bomb on what I thought was a great first date. She explained how her husband traveled for work constantly and never paid attention to the credit card statements anyway. How she'd been using it to take herself shopping and out to nice dinners for months. How she really liked me and wanted to keep seeing me as long as we were careful. The food in my stomach turned to lead. Not only was she married, but she was bragging about stealing from the guy. And now she wanted me to be her secret side piece while she spent his money. I forced a smile and nodded along while my mind raced for an escape plan. Then an idea hit me. My older sister Desiree owned a small salon about 20 minutes away. She'd dealt with plenty of terrible clients over the years and had stories about what happened when you use the wrong products on certain hair types. A plan started forming in my head. You know what? I actually need to get my hair cut tomorrow morning. My regular place is really good. Wanna come with me? Maybe you could get something done too? Bridget's eyes lit up. She said she'd been thinking about changing her look anyway. Maybe a new color to mark this exciting new chapter in her life. I told her my sister's place had great stylists who specialized in dramatic transformations. The next morning, I picked Bridget up and drove to Desiree's salon. On the way, I texted my sister the whole story about the married woman and the stolen credit card. Desiree texted back a single thumbs up emoji. She understood the assignment. When we walked in, Desiree greeted us with her biggest fake smile. She gushed over Bridget's hair and suggested going platinum blonde since her natural color was dark brown. Bridget loved the idea. Said her husband always wanted her to stay brunette, so this would be perfect for her new independent phase. Desiree led Bridget to the wash station while I sat in the waiting area pretending to read magazines. I could hear them chatting about processing times and how important it was to use quality products. Desiree mixed up the bleach right there in front of Bridget, adding extra developer and leaving out the protective additives. 20 minutes into the process, Bridget started shifting in her chair. She mentioned her scalp was tingling more than usual. Desiree assured her that was normal for such a dramatic change. By 30 minutes, Bridget was gripping the armrest, saying it was really starting to burn. Desiree kept checking her phone and saying they needed just a little more time for the perfect lift. At the 45-minute mark, Bridget was practically crying. Her scalp was bright red, and she kept saying something was wrong. Desiree finally agreed to wash it out, acting shocked at how her hair was coming out in clumps. She rinsed and rinsed while Bridget watched chunks of bleached hair swirl down the drain. When Desiree finally sat her up, Bridget's reflection was horrifying. Her scalp was covered in chemical burns and bald patches. What hair remained was fried and breaking off at different lengths. She looked like she'd stuck her finger in an electrical socket. Bridget started screaming at Desiree, demanding to know what she'd done. Desiree put on her best confused act, saying she'd used the same process as always. Maybe Bridget had an allergic reaction or hadn't disclosed previous chemical treatments. These things happen sometimes with box dye users. I drove Bridget home in complete silence while she held a cold towel to her burning scalp. She kept trying to call me later, but I blocked her number and deleted the dating app. Desiree said she came back the next day with her husband threatening to sue. But when Desiree explained why his wife had been there and whose credit card she'd used for her other recent salon visits, the husband went quiet. They left and never came back. Last I heard, her husband took his own life, and Desiree tried to convince everyone on Facebook that it wasn't her fault. But when the police found the pills she had slipped in his drinks, she went to jail.